Hello and welcome to the Drop a Stitch podcast.
I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm your other host, Natalie.
And today we're going to be talking about how to take pictures for the gram.
Yeah.
Of your products.
Or anything else you're working on. Doesn't
Yep.
have to be finished products.
No, it doesn't have to be your finished product. Okay, so first of all, give me 1 second because I feel like it's very loud. Wait, where am I going? There. Okay. This is the second time
that we're trying
to do the video. And I think I'm really loud.
Last week was not good, guys. The video
No.
quality was absolutely horrible. And it also stopped recording somewhere halfway. So we couldn't post the video.
Yeah, sorry if you hear noises. I'm just trying to adjust the volume of the mic. I think that's better. So yeah, we tried last time, and as soon as we were done and we looked at the video, we were like, immediately no.
No thanks.
Nope. No, that's not happening. The angle was bad. The lighting was bad. Just everything about how we were positioned
was bad.
Was very
Plus,
bad.
We didn't have half of the podcast because the camera battery died and
oh no, but it died at the end.
Well,
so we
still missed a chunk.
Just a goodbye.
Oh, okay. I thought we missed more than that.
No, just a goodbye. So now we are
fine then, not a valid reason.
Now we are in a better spot. We are,
at least we hope so. We'll see when we rewatch this.
It's hard to see because we just have the camera what's it called, monitor or whatever that is,
the screen
yeah. So that's the only thing we can see. I usually, when I record my videos, my tutorials, I attach my iPad so then I can see in a bigger screen what I'm doing. But because the podcasts are way longer than a video, the videos that I do for my tutorials, the battery would die like
in 5 seconds.
Yeah. In literally 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So what's the point? So yeah, if you're seeing us on YouTube,
hopefully this time we actually have a video.
Yes, we actually have a video, and we're sitting and we are working on projects. So before we get into the video, what are you working on?
My rainbow blanket.
Yes, finally.
Still, because I feel like I've said that for weeks on weeks on weeks.
Yep. You have.
But now I've officially cleared everything else I had to do. And this is the project that I'm working on until I'm done, because I'm still planning on doing my baby announcement with it at some point as soon as I'm done. So I'm at the point of weaving in ends and turning my rainbows into squares so that it can actually become a blanket. What are you working on?
I'm working on my cloud blanket pattern, the worsted weight version. So I published the cloud blanket, which is the one behind me if you're watching on YouTube.
Yes.
This beautiful one, super chunky and squishy and literally a cloud. And it's doing amazing. Like, everybody is loving the blanket. Everybody's loving the pattern, which I'm really, really happy. Blog post is doing great. Patterns are doing great. So I'm very excited. And a lot of people were asking for a lightweight version. So I'm doing the worsted weight version. So if you can see.
Compared to it almost looks like it's DK.
Yeah, I know.
Like, compared to it looks so small.
Because this is
and
so
I know
chunky.
it's worsted because I know the yarn you're using.
Yeah.
But because this one is so chunky, like, in comparison, it doesn't look like it's worsted.
I know.
It's crazy.
But yeah, so I'm only making the baby size because I don't have time to make the big version, and I already have the big one for myself, so I can make this for my baby. And it's working up super nice, and I'm using variegated yarn as well, because I find that it does the work for you. Like, you don't have to be
you don't have to switch colors every time.
Yeah,
which is fun.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on. Hopefully I'm gonna have a lot done.
Yeah, sure. Let's try that.
Okay, and also, this is the first time that we are trying to record the podcast without our headphones.
Yes.
So we're looking at the screen to make sure that we are not breaking your eardrums,
Yes.
basically.
Because typically we have earphones and we can hear ourselves talk, so we can hear how badly, like how close we are talking to
Yeah.
the microphone, if the sounds is good or not. But we're just basing ourselves on sound waves today, because if you're seeing us on YouTube, we're sitting on a couch instead of at Danny's desk right by her computer.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, it's a whole different setup
It's-
for the first time.
Yeah, it is. It is different, but it's so much more comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Like
So much more
it's so much
comfortable.
more comfortable. Than
Guys,
the
we
chairs.
usually are sitting face to face on chairs and like are basically our legs are like stuck in each other. One of us wants to cross the leg, we're
Yeah.
like hitting the other, we're getting stuck in each other's yarn.
Oh yeah. So the other when was
No
it that
personal bubble space.
when was it that I was like, oh, I'm gonna put my feet in here, and it was your feet.
Yeah. It was like a few weeks ago.
I'm like, oh, this is comfy. Yeah, we're Natalie's feet. I'm like, oh, sorry, girl. I think it's because we both had our feet on the last.
Yeah, the last
drawer.
drawer.
Yeah.
Because Danny had a drawer unit, and I used to pull the bottom drawer
Yeah.
and like stick my feet out, and she would do the same, and we didn't realize. And at some point, we were playing footsies without knowing.
I told Kale today that I think I need for my desk too, like a footrest or
Oh, yeah.
something. It's so necessary, but you don't think about it until you spend a good amount of time sitting on your desk.
Yeah, I weirdly how my desk is set up right now. I have a basket of yarn on the other side of my desk, and I just stretch and put my feet on top of the
That's what I
basket.
was-
It is so cozy. Like
That's
it's
what I was
so
trying to
soft, whether
do.
I'm barefoot or not. I'm just like, ooh, this is so cozy.
That's what I was trying to do because I have two baskets, as you can see at the bottom there.
Yeah.
I have two baskets, but they're empty.
Yeah.
So
Fill them with yarn.
I was trying to flip the baskets to put my feet, but my feet are heavier
Yeah,
for the baskets.
those
I'm like,
baskets wouldn't work.
mm.
I have that basket, the bamboo basket,
Oh, okay.
filled with yarn on the other side of my desk, so it holds.
At
So
work
I
or in
just-
your house?
At my house.
Oh, okay.
Not at work.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's pretty comfy.
No, at my house. Yeah, so it's comfortable. But let's get into today's topic.
No. How
Oh,
was your
sorry.
week?
How was my week? Was good. My week was good. It was busy. It's. I mean, this is my life now. We're trying to renovate a house while also being pregnant and working and doing everything. We had our 21-week ultrasound. What is it called in English?
Anatomy
Scan. Yes, the anatomy scan. Last Friday, which was super fun because we got to see baby again.
Yeah. Was it as long as you expected it to be?
Yeah, it was a good, like, from walking into the hospital to walking out, and we didn't wait, it was an hour. So, like, the scan was about, like, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what I was told it was going to be.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. So that was great. But yeah, we got to see baby and everything. So we're waiting for the results to, like, officially tell us that everything's okay. And then I have to go back again in 2 weeks because baby refused to show us his butt or her butt.
Classic.
We don't know. So, yeah. How was your week?
It was good. We spent the weekend at my in-laws. My
Nice.
in-laws at my mother-in-law's.
Yeah.
I can
You can just say at my in-laws. That works.
I can talk today.
You'll be fine.
I'm so self-conscious
Don't
for some
think about
reason.
it.
You know why I think I am?
Why?
Because I know I'm gonna get Invisaligns really soon. And I think my brain is preparing myself to have difficult talking.
But it's
For a
going to
little
be
bit.
like a couple days, and then you're not going to notice
I
it.
know. But for some reason, ever since I decided to get the Invisaligns this time, I have been so self-conscious of my S's and the way I speak and everything, and it's just so annoying because I try to say something and I just can't. I'm like, but that never happened before.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, don't think about it too much.
I won't. But anyways, I went to my mother-in-law's. We spent the weekend there. Well, it was longer than the weekend. We went on Thursday. And it was fun because it was super rainy all the weekend. So we were just cozy and kids were playing. And we were able to, have cozy nights and have a drink or something like that. And
It sounds so fun.
it was like very relaxing. And I also, relaxing, but on Friday I worked pretty much all morning because that's when I had to publish the pattern, and I just needed to get everything done. So I worked all Friday morning, but until probably noon, and after that it was more relaxing, and then I just got to enjoy seeing how the pattern was doing, and it just did amazing. So I'm really happy. But other than that, nothing, just normal
life.
Yeah. Okay, but today we're gonna be, like I said, we're going to be talking about pictures, how to take better pictures for your Instagram or for whatever you want to post it. And big disclaimer, we're not photographers.
No.
We just know a little bit.
Yeah. Let's start for fun. What do you use to take your pictures on Instagram most of the time?
Okay, so I use my phone 80% of the time. And then depending on what I'm making and the color of the project is depending on the color that I'm using.
Yes.
Is if I make the decision of using my camera or my phone, but 80% of the time is my phone. What do you use?
99.5% of the time I use my phone. The other 0.5% is when Danny takes pictures for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Camera.
Yeah, it's because
I have a fancy camera, but it's not. I don't know how to fully use it, so I don't feel like I'm doing much better. Like the phone cameras has gone so far that I don't really feel like I can do much better. It would be better for like portraits or like taking pictures of myself, which is very hard to do by yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't have the Wi-Fi option on mine. No, so I can't have it on my phone, or I can't have it like automatically kind of load. So that's annoying. I have to like pull it out and stuff. So if I'm trying to shoot and I'm by myself, I basically take a picture, walk back. I'm like, ooh, I was to the left of the frame. I have to move. And then I go back and I kind of guess where I was and where I now need to be.
Oh, wait, but you don't have like a little remote?
No, it doesn't work. My camera won't. It's too old.
Really?
Yeah. Which is very annoying. So I rarely use it. I'm like debating getting another one.
Yeah. I feel like a camera it's worth it if you are taking your Instagram serious and you need to take nice pictures, because the phone can only do so much. You cannot compare your phone with your camera. Like there's no way to compare, because a camera is just 100 times better. You can take pictures with your phone and they will be nice and they will be just as fine nowadays. But I feel like if you want to take it a step higher, a camera is, a way to go. But the only thing that I would recommend is, if you are going to spend money and buy a camera, first do your research to find the camera that suits you and your needs. And second, learn a lot. Watch all the videos that you can, do all the research, and learn how to use the camera to its fullest.
Yeah, because if not, it's not
a waste of time. And then you're gonna use auto mode, which is basically,
might as well use your phone.
Exactly.
But most people that actually, like the big people in the community on Instagram, they have photographers typically that work for them, because it's also very hard to take pictures of yourself. You have to take like 100 shots, and then you're like, oh great, I had like one strand of hair sticking out weirdly, let me start this whole thing over. And you're like, oh no, I didn't know this in the background, let me start over. And then it's like, and then your best shots have something that you don't like in them and you can't undo them. Like, it's not always.
I remember back in the day, I had my very first camera, and it was a really good one. But for the longest time, even until the moment I sold it, I never took the time to fully understand how it worked, and I never took the time to learn how to use it. And I think I could never use it to its full potential. And I had a good camera, it's just I didn't know how to do things. So I ended up selling it, and then I bought myself a better camera, way more expensive, but because YouTube and the things I do is my full-time job. This is an investment and I use it all the time. And even for pictures, I feel like you can't compare the quality.
No, it's much better. If you know how to use it, it's so much better.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how to use it, you don't technically need like
Yeah.
a full camera.
You don't need to start.
And we'll like talk about so many different tips on how to take pictures too.
Yeah.
And like I feel like the first one, the most important one, is natural light.
Yeah. So we have a little list in here that I made today because, we have to have these little lists. If not, we're just going to be rambling about the same thing for like 3 hours. So first one, it's like Natalie said, natural light.
And natural light doesn't mean direct light.
Nope.
You don't want direct light. You don't want the sun shining right on your project because that's going to create massive shadows, or right on you if you're taking a picture of yourself wearing your project. It's going to create massive shadows and it's going to be very, very harsh. You want diffused natural light. So you want to use, maybe a south-facing window, but that has, a roof or something covering it, or you're further back so that you don't have the light shining straight on it. It's just bright in the room where you're taking a picture. Or if you have a covered porch, you can go on your porch outside. The sun isn't shining directly on the porch, but you have like all this beautiful outdoor natural light.
Or a window.
Or a window or a patio door. I loved my patio door at my previous house. It was like facing it was facing east. I'm trying to figure out. It was facing east and it had the best light. I could just slap my like background and then take a picture, and it had great light. But I feel like that's the most important. Like, you do not want to use a flash. Unfortunately,
no.
You have to take your picture during the day. It's very shitty if you live in Canada and we have winters where it's dark at like 3:34, because in the winter it very much limits your time for taking pictures, especially if you work full time. But then you can batch your pictures on the weekends.
Yeah.
Take a bunch of them, and that's what I used to do. I would literally work on multiple different projects, get to different points in them where I'm like, hey, I need to take a picture here, I need to take a picture there. And then on the weekend, I would just take pictures of everything and then continue the next week working a little bit on everything, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. And, or you can also use a light diffuser, it's called, which is basically like a white piece of fabric, if you will, like a plasticky fabric, and it literally, that's the word, it diffuses the light.
Yeah. It will
then it kinda
break the sunlight so that it's not so harsh.
It makes it super soft, so you're just getting the natural light and not the sun directly on your face or on your object. So, okay, I have, before we continue, because we're talking about using natural light and whatnot, I have a super good tip that I learned a while back, and it is just so good. It's chef kiss that I cannot keep it to myself. I need to share it with you guys because this tip has literally saved me so many times and so many frustrations, and it's just so good. You need to listen.
Tell us already. Tell us. Tell me, I'm curious.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have to choose between dark and light, it is way better that your pictures are darker than lighter. This is how it works. We're going to get to the editing point in a second, but the simple thing, and I learned this from a photographer. I'm not making this up, so, it's true. The thing is, when a picture is dark, and I'm not saying pitch black, just normal dark, maybe it's a gloomy day or whatever. When your picture is dark, the objects are there, the colors are still there, everything is still in your picture. So then with a little bit of editing, you can still save your picture. You can still brighten your picture. You can still bring the colors back. You can still bring the light back. You can still bring the object back. Everything is in there. But if your picture is too bright, too overexposed,
it washes
too white,
everything out.
Exactly. You cannot bring anything back. So if you are taking a picture and it's super wide, super overexposed, there's no way for you to bring the colors back, the objects back. If it's something that got, fade away because of the light and object, you're not going to bring it back. So there's no way. So you are better off taking dark pictures than super bright and exposed pictures.
Yep.
So always keep that in mind. If you have a room that maybe is a little bit darker, don't worry too much because you can always edit your pictures afterwards.
Yep.
And here is whenever you need to learn a little bit of editing, because taking the pictures is just the first step. You shouldn't just take your picture and be happy with it. You should always edit it after. You will never find a photographer that will take a picture of you and give it to you like that. There's no way, because there's always something that you need to fix. There's always a little bit of light, a little bit of darkness in here. You want to change the color. You want to make it a little bit more moody. You want to make it a little bit more warm. So there's not a
or
magical...
just even fit your style, like the filter to fit your style, the way if your pictures are all bright and crisp white, or if your pictures are, have a little bit of a tan tone, like
more like the ones that I took for my pregnancy.
Yes.
I found this photographer. She's here in Ottawa. She's phenomenal. I really liked her style. I really liked the pictures that she was taking. But most of the pictures, I really like her editing style. I really like the colors that she put in her pictures. All her pictures were with that like sunset color, if you will.
Yeah.
And I really, really like that so much. And that's why I chose her for the pictures. But yeah, so you should never settle with your picture. You always have to edit it after.
Though
that's
I learned that it's also better, if you can, to have as little editing as possible. Like you're trying to not take pictures with flash, you're trying to take pictures in natural light so that you can have the best kind of foundation for your editing.
For sure.
If you're taking, it's a dark, gloomy day and you don't have enough light and your picture is grainy, it's going to be very hard to bring it back to like super crisp.
Yeah.
So you also have to try to pay attention and try to do the best you can with what you have before you...
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. It doesn't mean that you have to take your picture in pitch black or no light whatsoever.
Yeah. But just don't do flash, no matter what.
No. Flash is part of the past. I don't know who in the world would use flash nowadays, even photographers. I remember when I went to Chile and we had Lucas' baptism, the photographer was still there, which, by the way, was the same guy that took our school pictures. I was like,
okay,
how are you still doing this? It was like a generic guy that was there in that church doing that thing. And I was like, how are you still doing this? I don't understand. But anyways, and he was taking the pictures with flash. And I was like, my God, how?
Yeah.
Like,
they have so many better options nowadays with the like lights. You can get lights. If your place is really, really dark, you can get lights that are artificial but that have a diffuser on it, and that the color of your light is almost like a natural daylight. There's like the ring lights are part of that.
Yeah.
If you watch TikTok, you'll see a bunch of ring lights. You can tell in the people's eyes.
Yeah, you can see now.
Ring. Yeah. I mean, if you zoom really close on YouTube, you might be able to see that we have a ring light right now because we're in a basement and it's nighttime.
But it also depends on the type of videos and
or pictures
that you want to take. If you want to take them more moody, more dark,
Yes,
it depends on your style. I feel like you have to find your style. Some people really like white and crisp pictures, like you said. Some other, like me, I really like warm tones.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to find your style as well. But that goes into the editing part. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're done with the light, natural light. We said, please try to get natural light as much as possible. No flash.
And not direct.
And not direct light either. Now we need to find, assuming that you want to take pictures of your products, and we're talking about knitting and crochet specifically, but obviously this goes to any kind of products.
Yep.
You need to find a nice background that is not distracting.
Yes. What do you use? Let's start there.
For me, I usually use my bed, and I purposely bought my duvet, which is white and has a little bit of texture because I knew that I was going to be taking a lot of pictures of my blankets and things like that on my bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I also use my coffee table that it's also white, but it has like that wood grain under, and I feel like that looks really, really nice, and I really like it. But 90% of the time my son is there with all his things, so it's kind of hard for me to take pictures there. But whenever he's napping, I try to get a few pictures if I need. And then I think those are the only two places that I take pictures. And sometimes
the two main ones for sure.
Yeah. And sometimes if I need something more specifically for like a thumbnail or something that it needs to be more detailed, more crisp, more like white, I will use my white backdrop with my lights and my camera and things like that.
I use mainly a blanket that I got at Indigo. It's like a fur blanket.
Yeah.
It's a little bit off-white, and it has like almost like stripes, but it's just the fur is like oriented the different ways. So you can see kind of little lines. It adds a little bit of texture, but it's not lined. It's not different colors. It's just the one color of white. Okay. I think I use that most of the time, like 99%, because, well, I moved around a lot lately, and I needed to have something that I could carry with me. So that's what I ended up using.
Yeah.
I think if you're doing like product pictures that are going straight on like Etsy or whatever, the clean, perfectly crisp white background is fun, because it really showcases the product. But if you're, doing Instagram pictures, or even you can use those for Etsy too, whatever you want. But I feel like having a little bit of texture in the background is fun. Like if it's too crisp white, I don't like it. Yeah. Some people will like remove the background or like edit it so that it's not there and it's perfectly white. I personally don't like those pictures. I feel like it's too sterile almost. Yeah. Like it doesn't bring you warmth. It doesn't bring you into the picture and the mood.
Yeah.
And
it's just like a catalog product. Yeah. Picture. It's just too.
It's too like corporate. It's not enough like homey and handmade, and it doesn't have that like feeling.
Yeah.
So I think something light or something, depending on your brand, obviously, something that matches with kind of most of the colors you're using is very important.
Yeah.
And something that has a little bit of texture too, I think helps a lot.
I feel like the prompts that you use need to be there. It's nice to have some texture, but you also have to pay attention that you need one thing to be the main focus of your picture, and you don't want any other product to take away that. You don't want somebody to go and see your picture and wonder, what is this person trying to show me? Are they trying to show me the yarn, or are they trying to show me that super shiny, sparkly scissors?
Yeah, you mean the props that you use with it.
Yeah, props. What did I say?
Prompts.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also nice, like, I mean, lately I haven't posted on Instagram in a while. I'm gonna soon, but props.
Yeah,
you said prompts.
I know.
You meant props. Mm-hmm. I think it's nice to use I was saying I haven't used props in a little bit in my picture just because of where I am. Like my props are in storage right now. It's a mess, but it's nice to have little props, something that kind of gives a reference to maybe either the size of the item, or like you've done like coasters and stuff like that, or you've had a plant on it, or you've had a coffee mug, like something that kind of tells you without you needing to read anything, like the caption or anything. Like you instantly know, oh, this is a coaster. Oh, this is, you know what I mean? Like a center piece for the table or whatever. Like it's nice when you can add a little bit, but like, as you were saying, you have to make sure that it doesn't take over your picture and that you can clearly tell what is the main focus of the picture.
Yeah, and also having layers is really easy and really good for your pictures as well. Let's say you have a little piece of wood, and then on top of that you can put like a nice white plate, and then on top of that you can, let's say you're making, I don't know, you want to showcase fork and knives, let's say. So if you have, like I said,
Fork and knife?
yeah, whatever.
We're talking about crochet and knitting. Why do you want to showcase it?
I don't know, because I just thought about the plate. But anyways, okay, if you have like your table and then you have a little piece of wood and then on top of that you have, the product that you want to show. Just having little layers will create also dimension in your picture. It's not going to make it just plain and blah. It's going to have more texture, like Natalie was saying. And
it helps draw people's eyes in. It helps convey a scene and make people feel something, basically.
Yeah. Okay, and after the all the picture taking and all of that, we have to know how to edit our pictures.
Wait, before that, there's one thing I use for my pictures that I didn't talk about yet.
What?
I have this round, it's not a diffuser, it's a reflector.
Okay.
That I got off Amazon. Is this big like pop-up circle. It like, I kind of twist it upon itself and it kind of folds into this like mini circle, yeah, basically. And when I pop it, it like pops open, like, you see those tents where you just like toss it and it pops up. It's kind of like that. And it has a white side and it has a gold side. And so what I do, especially like right now, because where I am, I get no light. Like the only window that I can use to take pictures is facing north, which is the absolute worst.
I would never understand that.
It's
face whatever. To me, a window is a window.
Oh no, you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference. You have, where you are, you have east-west windows, so you don't see the difference. If you had north-south windows, if your windows were this way, you would totally tell the difference. On the north, your light is blue. Because you don't get any direct light at all. The sun is usually opposite, so your light is very, very blue, very cold. And if you're shooting on the south, it's very yellow. It's very hard to get a nice neutral unless you're east-west. It sounds so stupid, but honestly, I can promise you it's true. So
I had no idea.
It's true. East-west, you'll get the best light. Then south is too hot, like there's too much light, so it's going to be yellow, and north there's not enough, so it's going to be blue. So you try
almost
to
like Chile and Canada, south and north.
Yes. And so I got this reflector off Amazon for I think like $20, like so many years ago. And it's great because it just pops up, and one side is white and the other side is gold. So if you're shooting and it's north and your light is very blue, you can put the gold side and it warms up. Basically you put it like, you have your window, you have your project, and then opposite side of your window you put that reflector. And so it will basically take the light that comes in from the window and bounce it back, and you can angle it so that it works. And if you use the gold side, it will warm up what you're taking a picture of. So if you're facing north and the light is really blue, you can just use the gold side and it will warm it up. It will bring warmth to it because the light is going to hit the yellow of the gold and then reflect. And then if you're shooting and you don't have a lot of light, like today I took some pictures and it's very gloomy. So I didn't have enough light. So all like there's shadows because it was too gloomy.
That's what I was
So I
say.
flipped to the white side, and then the little bit of light that comes in through the window reflects off of it, and then it cuts the shadows. And like when I have really, really good light, if I have like even too much light and that it creates shadows that way, I use that and I can almost completely erase my shadows just by using that.
So, that's what I was gonna say too. That product is really, really good to eliminate the shadows that you can have in your pictures.
Absolutely.
That combined with the diffuser, it's a bomb.
Oh yeah.
For pictures. So if you want to, if you're thinking of should I get a new camera or to get better pictures, try those two things first. The diffuser and the reflector. Take pictures with that and your phone and see the difference. And then if you still don't like it, after the editing and all of that, then consider getting a new camera.
But I would definitely do that first. And they're cheap. They're so cheap.
They're so cheap, They're like $17, $20.
And you can use them inside. You can use them outside. You can use them anywhere. I love it because like I have like a reusable grocery bag to give you an idea. And in there I have my blanket. I have my reflector. I don't have a diffuser. I should probably get a diffuser.
You should, yeah.
And then I have the wood circle that I use.
It's almost
for
the
a lot
same
of my
thing.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just transparent almost.
Yeah.
And so I have that all in a grocery bag. Like, it fits easily, and I've taken it, like, I've worked on project when I was like doing a road trip or whatever, and I've taken it with me to a hotel room so I could like lay it down and take my
Nice.
picture, and you wouldn't know that I'm in a hotel room because it's the same backdrop and it's the same kind of picture quality because I've got all my little essentials.
Yeah. So, okay, the next thing
Editing.
is editing. And in here, before you start jumping into editing, find your style. That's the first thing you need to do. It's find your style. What do you like? What style of pictures do you like? Browse Instagram, browse Pinterest, and check what style do you like? What do you want to achieve with your pictures? And that,
And also, I think, reflect on what you're actually shooting,
Yeah.
what colors you're using.
Yeah.
If you're using, like, I use a lot of blues, I use a lot of cool colors. So if I were to try to apply your filter, which is
Yeah.
very warm, all my colors would be wacky.
Yeah.
So you use a lot of warm colors, so you can have a warm filter.
Yeah.
I love how your pictures look, but I could never use your filters
Yeah.
on my picture. It would just look so weird.
yeah.
So, like, look at what you're drawn to, but then also pay attention at what you're doing and what you're taking pictures of.
Yeah.
Because you might not need, like, it might not apply to what you're doing.
That is exactly why if you go to my Instagram, you will see that I use a lot of mustard, a lot of burnt orange, red, warm tones. Those are my go-to, and that is not just because I really like those colors and those are my go-to colors for everything. It's also because that is the style of the pictures that I like. Those are the colors that I want my pictures to be, and I really like warm tones and I really like warm filters. So I use those colors. And like Natalie was saying, sometimes I have blankets. For example, this one, I didn't know how the blue in this picture, in this blanket was going to look. But I managed to, because after I edited, because the filter I use eliminates pretty much all the blues.
Yep.
So I had to edit it my way to bring back the blue in this blanket to make sure that you could also see the blue.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Find the style that you like. Find the colors that you like. And like Natalie said, check what you're taking pictures of. And based on that, find an app that you like. Of course, I use Lightroom.
Yes. I use Lightroom as well.
You use that one? It's free. You can obviously pay for the pro version, which if you're not really very into photography or making your pictures like extremely to the next level, you don't need the pro version. I have it because I have Photoshop and it comes in a package. So that's why I have it. But
I don't have it. I have the free version.
yeah, the free, I think it's enough.
I think when I first got Lightroom, I didn't use it very much because I felt like I would have had to get the pro version in order to do something.
Yeah.
But you actually showed me that I didn't have to because you can buy on Etsy or other websites the presets. And you can buy presets as a kit. And what that allows you to do is you can upload them into Lightroom. And then instead of buying the pro version to have access to Lightroom presets, you can just use any other presets that you purchase for a one-time fee rather than like a monthly fee. And so I purchased like 5 or 6 sets of presets. And each preset comes with like, one of them has like 20 different ones. One of them has like 10. It depends on the kit that you buy. But on Etsy, often it'll be like buy like 5 and get like 5 free or something. Like they have a bunch of like promos. It doesn't end up being very expensive. I think I spent $20 max.
Yeah.
And then you can load them and you can test them on your pictures, obviously, and you have to kind of see what works. One thing I did to find kind of my preset is I took screenshot of my Instagram rather than uploading every picture and kind of trying to see.
Yeah.
I took screenshots of my Instagram and I applied the presets to that. So it kind of applied it to all the pictures. So I could see like, okay, this doesn't work with these colors. This doesn't work with that.
Yeah.
And kind of see how that looked, generally speaking. But yeah.
So what the presets do is it puts the filter already on your picture. And why it comes with so many? Because one filter cannot be applied for all the pictures.
No.
So you're gonna have that the base, you're gonna have that the base is the same, but the presets are gonna be different for if your picture is darker, or if your picture is warmer, or if your picture is lighter, or if your picture is more blue. So they play the same filter for different scenarios.
Yeah.
So depending on how your picture is, you can choose what number in that filter you're gonna use. And then once you get the filter that you like, of course, try to use it for all of your pictures. So then you have a very nice and cohesive look and your Instagram look nice. But I will say never settle with your filter. Always fix little things to make your picture look better.
Yep.
For example, I think maybe 20% of the times my filter works really good with my picture and I leave it like that, but 80% of the time I edit something.
You play with the brightness, the exposure,
Most of the time I take the what's it called, the highlights, because sometimes it's too bright, so I bring the highlights down, and I always modify something to make my pictures look better using the filter, but just tweaking something so the picture looks even better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So never settle with that filter.
Yeah, it's not because you're like, oh, I'm using this preset and like this filter that it's like, oh, I gave that. It's not 100%, but I guess that's what it is. You can still play with every single one of the things.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to like download apps and get into Lightroom, your actual, like, if you have an iPhone, I don't know if Android does this, but if you have an iPhone, you can actually tap like edit on your pictures, and there's some editing tools in the pictures. Like, I'll often, before I even upload it to Lightroom, if I took a picture and it's like a little bit crooked or it's skewed, like, I'll just fix that straight on the iPhone. Sometimes I'll adjust the brightness right away to see if if it's good or if it's not going to be a good picture. And then I know I can either retake it or I can bring it into Lightroom and play with it some more.
Yeah. And what was I gonna say? I forgot again. That's great.
It's one time every episode.
Oh, for sure. It can never be perfect.
It doesn't need to be perfect.
I know. But so play with the filters. And I remember now what I was gonna say. That was a quick
say it before you forget again.
Yeah. And is that if you don't feel like buying presets because for whatever reason you don't want to, you can create your own. So all you have to do, and this is basically what presets are, is you take your picture, you play with all the settings and the lights and the brightness and the shadows and the colors. You can change the saturation of the blues, of the yellows, like every single color. You can play with all the adjustments, and once you have the picture how you like it and you're like, okay, this is how I really like it, this is what I want, then you can click, there's an option to save the edits. Yep. So you can save the edits and you can click on save as preset, and you can make your own preset, and this is how people do it to sell it, right?
Yeah.
So,
and this is especially helpful if you're taking your pictures kind of in the same setup every time. If you're always, in front of your patio door on the floor taking a project picture, and you kind of try to, use midday lighting, like if they're always very kind of similar, it's great because you can just apply it and it's going to work, most of the time.
Yeah. That's why I like the filter that I have. So I bought mine also off of Etsy, I think, or I can't remember. I have it for so long that I don't even remember where I got it, but I always fix something. And I have also different presets for different seasons. For example, for Christmas, because there's more lights and there's more greens and stuff like that, I use a different presets, because the one that I usually use in the summer or when it's more bright eliminates the blues and the greens, and whenever it's Christmas I want the greens.
Yeah.
I want some blues. So I use a different one that kind of like
Still gives the
gives
style.
me the warmth that I want, but you know,
Doesn't
is
fully wash out those colors.
so yeah, I feel like that is it for the pictures. I think were we consistent? Yeah, we were pretty good,
I think so.
right? I think we gave.
If you have any questions,
Yes.
or if you think of something that we didn't talk about, that if you have any advice for how to take pictures, let us know.
If you yeah, like Natalie was saying, if you have questions, please don't hesitate, because sometimes we just forget to say things.
Yeah.
So if you you can leave, now that you're watching hopefully again on YouTube,
Yes.
please leave us comments there, whatever you want to see. Please tell us if you like it. Do you like watching us? Do you like see what we're working on? Do you like see our faces?
Yeah. What do you think of our setup? Do
What
we
do you-
need
yeah.
to like change certain
Do we need
things?
to change something? Is it too bright? Is it too dark? Should we put some lights in the background in here? I feel like if we put some lights in here, it would be very nice.
It would be fun.
Like if it kind of like, you know, we're still
We're playing with things.
Playing
we're
with
trying.
things.
We're still learning here.
Yeah.
This is episode 21, but it still
Yeah.
feels like we started
yesterday.
very recently. So
Yeah.
we're still testing things out.
Yeah. So that is all for today's episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast,
Spotify.
Spotify, not Shopify, Spotify, or whatever you listen to podcasts, please rate us 5 stars. Please, 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 because that helps us.
Yes.
And what else?
If you have anything that you want to email us about, any fun stories, any podcast topics or anything, you can use the email dropastitchpodcast@gmail.com. She looks at me this way every time because I screwed it up once. She every week she like, are you going to say it right?
Making
I
sure
got it
that
now. I got it now.
good.
So have a great week, everyone.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.